Your 20s will define everything that comes after. Every choice, every comfort you cling to, every risk you avoid. It shapes the person you're becoming. Most people waste these years chasing safety, approval, or fleeting pleasure. And when they finally wake up, it's too late. Nietzsche saw what most refuse to admit. Life is brutal, merciless, and unforgiving. But within that brutality lies transformation. Greatness isn't given. It's forged through suffering, rebellion, and the relentless act of creating yourself from nothing. In this video, you'll learn the 10 brutal lessons Nietzsche wanted every young adult to face. Why comfort is killing your potential, why suffering is your teacher, how love will break you and why you need it, the trap of mediocrity, the lies you've been taught, and how to create your own meaning in a meaningless world. By the end, you won't just understand these truths, you'll be armed to act on them, to break old patterns and to rise stronger than ever before. Ignore this, and you drift with the herd, another life fading into mediocrity. Stay, and you step into rare knowledge, the kind most people can't handle. The question is, will you dare to transform? Lesson 1. Comfort will kill your potential. Comfort feels harmless. In your 20s, it whispers like a soft pillow after a long day, like the warm glow of Netflix autoplay, like the steady paycheck from a job you don't care about but tolerate because it feels safe. Comfort seduces you with one promise: you don't have to struggle here. But Nietzsche warned, comfort is the slowest poison. It doesn't destroy you overnight. It lulls you into mediocrity, quietly draining your strength, your courage, and your hunger for more. Every time you avoid discomfort, you trade your future self for a fleeting sense of ease. Ask yourself, when was the last time you truly felt alive? Was it while scrolling endlessly, or was it when you risked something? Your pride, your heart, your certainty. The moments that stay with you are never the comfortable ones. They are the moments when you stood trembling at the edge of fear and leapt anyway. Nietzsche believed growth is forged in friction. Muscles only grow when they tear. Character only forms when it's tested. Potential only reveals itself when comfort is stripped away. If you shield yourself from discomfort in your 20s, you rob yourself of the very conditions that make greatness possible. Look around. The herd chooses ease, stable jobs they secretly hate, relationships that numb them, distractions that pacify them. And yet they wonder why life feels empty. They never realize that the comfort they worship is the very thing that kills their fire. The brutal truth: comfort won't just limit you, it will bury you alive in regret. 10 years from now, you won't remember the nights you stayed safe. You'll remember the chances you didn't take, the risks you avoided, the potential you let rot in exchange for momentary peace. Nietzsche's lesson is clear. Choose discomfort now or mediocrity forever. Lesson 2. Suffering is the path, not an accident. To live is to suffer. To survive is to find meaning in the suffering. Nietzsche didn't see pain as some cruel mistake in the design of life. He saw it as the essence of life itself. And in your 20s, when the world feels uncertain, unstable, and overwhelming, this lesson is more vital than ever. Think about the struggles you've already faced: heartbreak that left you shattered, financial instability that kept you awake at night, rejection that made you question your worth. In those moments, suffering feels like an enemy, an obstacle you must escape. But Nietzsche flips the script. Suffering is not a detour. It is the road. Why? Because suffering reveals what comfort hides. Pain strips away illusions, forcing you to confront who you really are. Every setback in your 20s is not just random cruelty, it is raw material, shaping you into someone capable of more than you can currently. Imagine, without that heartbreak, you'd never know your depth. Without that failure, you'd never discover your resilience. Nietzsche believed that meaning is not given, it is forged, and suffering is the fire in which it is hammered out. If you try to run from pain, distracting yourself, numbing yourself, you only prolong the inevitable. But if you lean into it, if you ask, what is this teaching me? What strength is this carving into me? Then your suffering becomes your teacher, not your jailer. Most people in their 20s misinterpret pain. They think it means they're lost, broken, or unlucky. But Nietzsche would tell you, no, you are alive, you are becoming, you are being tested. Every scar is a mark of initiation into deeper strength. The brutal truth? You cannot avoid suffering. You can only choose whether it destroys you or remakes you. So when life cuts you open, don't curse the wound. Look at it as proof. You are on the path. Lesson 3. Most people are heard. Don't be one of them. Look around you. Crowded streets, busy offices, endless scrolling feeds. At first glance, it seems like billions of individuals making choices. But Nietzsche would laugh at that illusion. He saw most people for what they really are, the herd. The herd follows trends without question. They wear what others wear, believe what others believe, and chase what everyone else is chasing: money, status, approval. Their greatest fear isn't failure, it's standing out. To live differently is to risk ridicule, so they merge into the faceless crowd. In your 20s, this pull is especially dangerous. The herd will tell you what success looks like. Go to school, get the safe job, buy the house, live quietly. They'll praise you for conformity, and they'll shame you for daring to be different. But Nietzsche's brutal reminder: if you live like the herd, you die like the herd. Forgotten, unremarkable, replaceable. Ask yourself, are your dreams truly yours, or just borrowed from the collective script? Do you pursue your passions, or do you silence them because they don't fit the mold? Every time you choose approval over authenticity, the herd swallows you a little more. Nietzsche didn't believe everyone was meant to rise above. He believed greatness is rare, and only those willing to defy the herd will ever touch it. To resist conformity, you must endure loneliness, criticism, even mockery. That's the price of individuality. But here's the paradox. The very herd that mocks you secretly envies you. They don't admit it, but deep down they know you had the courage they lacked. And courage is magnetic. When you refuse to blend in, you give others permission to rise too. The brutal truth? If you don't consciously resist, you will unconsciously become the herd. And once you dissolve into that faceless mass, your potential vanishes forever. Nietzsche's challenge to you in your 20s: stop following the current. Walk against it, even if you walk alone, especially if you walk alone. Lesson 4. Your beliefs are borrowed. Lies. Most of what you believe is not yours. Your religion, your morals, your definition of success, even your sense of right and wrong, were handed to you long before you could question them. Parents, teachers, society, culture, they all wrote scripts in your mind. You grew up reciting them as if they were truth. But Nietzsche's brutal lesson? They are borrowed lies. In your 20s, this becomes dangerous. You might think you're making your own choices, choosing your career, your partner, your values. But look closer. How many of those choices are echoes of what others told you was normal or good? Nietzsche insisted that most people live second-hand lives, never daring to ask, do I truly believe this, or was I programmed to believe it? Take morality. Many live by rules inherited from religion or culture, never questioning their origin. But Nietzsche asked who created these values and why. Often values were designed to control, to tame, to suppress. The belief that humility is a virtue, for example, often serves the powerful, keeping you obedient, small, afraid of your own strength. Even the modern dream of success, a stable job, wealth, status, Nietzsche would call a cage decorated to look beautiful. It keeps you busy chasing approval, while distracting you from creating a life that is authentically yours. Here's the brutal challenge. Nietzsche doesn't tell you which beliefs to adopt instead. He tells you to shatter the old ones, even if it leaves you standing in terrifying emptiness. Because only when you strip away borrowed lies can you begin to forge values of your own. This is why most people never do it. It's easier to inherit ready-made beliefs than to face the responsibility of creating your own. But if you remain trapped in borrowed truths, you'll live a life that never belonged to you. The herd accepts inherited beliefs. The rare few burn them down and rebuild. Nietzsche demands you become one of the rare. The question is, will you dare to question even the foundations of what you think is true? Lesson 5. There is no right path. You must create it. Most people spend their 20s desperately searching for the right path. The perfect career, the perfect partner, the perfect sequence of steps that will guarantee happiness. But Nietzsche's brutal message? There is no right path. None exists. The idea that life has a pre-written road waiting for you is a comforting illusion. Religion might tell you your destiny is already mapped. Society might insist there's a checklist: study, work, marry, retire. But Nietzsche laughed at this. For him, the highest calling was not to discover a path, it was to create one. This is where his idea of the Übermensch comes in. The Übermensch, or overman, is the one who refuses to walk a borrowed road. He creates his own values, his own meaning, his own direction, even when misunderstood, even when condemned. And here lies the danger of your 20s. If you wait for the world to hand you clarity, you will wait forever. There will be no moment when the universe whispers the perfect plan. Instead, you will face endless uncertainty. That uncertainty is not a mistake. It is your invitation to create. Most people can't stomach this responsibility. They cling to prescribed paths because the alternative, radical freedom, is terrifying. To admit that life has no map is to admit that every step you take is yours to decide and yours to own. No excuses, no scapegoats. Nietzsche's challenge is not comforting. He won't tell you your life will work out if you just trust the process. He tells you, you must be the process. You must walk into the unknown, cut your own trail and bleed for it. And yes, you will fail, you will fall, you will be mocked. But every stumble will be proof that you are alive, that you are daring to live as a creator, not a follower. The brutal truth? No one is coming to show you the way. The way does not exist until you carve it. Lesson 6. Love will break you, but it's necessary. Love in your 20s feels like fire. It burns with promise, with intensity, with dreams of forever. And yet, Nietzsche knew the truth. Love will break you. Not softly, not gently, but violently, tearing open the illusions you built around yourself. Heartbreak is inevitable. The person you thought would stay might leave. The one you gave everything to might betray you. The love you believed would complete you might collapse under the weight of reality. And in that collapse, you will feel shattered, exposed, undone. But Nietzsche didn't see this as tragedy. He saw it as transformation. Love is not meant to protect you from suffering. It is meant to reveal your capacity for it. When love breaks you, it cracks open your soul, forcing you to discover the depths of who you are. Think about it. Heartbreak strips away the fantasies of perfect romance, the lies of eternal security. It shows you the raw truth, that to love is to risk, to lose, to bleed. And yet through that pain you grow. You discover resilience you didn't know you had, compassion you didn't think possible, and strength forged only in vulnerability. Nietzsche believed that true love is not about comfort, it's about expansion. It pushes you beyond yourself, forcing you to confront both your weaknesses and your power. If you avoid love out of fear, you avoid one of the greatest forces of transformation in your 20s. Most people seek love as an escape from loneliness. They want it to fix them, to complete them, but Nietzsche's brutal warning, love is not salvation, it will not fix you. Instead, it will break you into pieces, and in rebuilding yourself, you will become stronger, deeper, more alive. The brutal truth, love will hurt you, but without it, you will never truly know yourself. So let love break you, because only in the ruins do you discover what you're truly capable of becoming. Lesson 7. Mediocrity is humanity's default look around. Most people you know will never achieve greatness, not because they're incapable, but because they choose not to. Nietzsche believed mediocrity isn't an exception. It's the default state of humanity. In your 20s, this truth is uncomfortable. You've been told that you're special, that the world is full of endless opportunities, but Nietzsche's reminder cuts deep. The vast majority will stay average. They will live quiet, predictable lives, never questioning, never pushing, never daring. Why? Because mediocrity is safe. It demands nothing extraordinary. Greatness, on the other hand, demands chaos. It demands risk. It demands sacrifice. It requires you to go against the grain, to resist comfort, to endure suffering, to abandon the herd. Few have the courage for that. Most will settle into routines, mindless jobs, shallow distractions, temporary pleasures, while their potential rots inside them. Ask yourself, do you want to be ordinary? Because if you don't actively fight against mediocrity, it will swallow you. It doesn't take effort to be average. It takes effort to rise. Mediocrity is gravity. It pulls you down by default. The only way out is constant resistance. Nietzsche saw this clearly. Greatness is rare, precisely because it requires pain. The herd avoids discomfort, so they remain mediocre. But those who embrace struggle, who accept risk, who confront chaos, those few carve themselves into something remarkable. This doesn't mean fame or recognition. Nietzsche wasn't talking about Instagram followers or money. He meant greatness of character, greatness of soul, the kind that comes from living authentically, courageously, unapologetically. The brutal truth: most people will die as they lived, unnoticed, untested, unfulfilled. And if you don't make deliberate choices in your 20s, you will too. Nietzsche's lesson is simple but savage. Mediocrity is the natural current of life. If you don't swim against it, you're already drowning. Lesson 8. Truth is painful, and few can bear it. Most people claim they want the truth, but Nietzsche knew better. They want comfort, not truth. Because truth, when it's stripped of illusions, is unbearable for most. Think about your own 20s. You're told to follow your passion, that everything happens for a reason, that love will save you. These are comforting lies. The truth? Life is chaotic. People betray, dreams collapse, death waits for everyone. There is no guarantee of fairness or meaning. And once you see that clearly, it can feel crushing. This is why illusions are so seductive. Religion promises eternal life. Society promises success if you obey the rules. Entertainment distracts you from emptiness. Nietzsche warned, these illusions are not harmless. They are crutches that keep you weak, unable to face reality head-on. But here's the paradox. While illusions make life bearable, they also make you small. Only those who dare to face the raw, unfiltered truth can rise above the herd. Nietzsche called this the strength to live, without illusions. To look at existence, the suffering, the chaos, the meaninglessness, and still say, yes, I choose to live. Most people will never reach this point. They will cling to illusions until death, preferring lies over pain. Nietzsche doesn't condemn them. He simply doesn't consider them strong. His challenge is for the rare few, the ones willing to face truth, even when it burns. Ask yourself, do you truly want the truth, or just the version that soothes you? Can you stare into the abyss without flinching, without numbing yourself with distractions? Because if you can, Nietzsche believed, you unlock a power that most will never touch, the power to live authentically, without illusion. The brutal truth: most people cannot handle truth. They will hide from it, deny it, bury it under comforts. But if you dare to face it, you step into rare strength, the kind that separates creators from followers, the extraordinary from the herd. Lesson 9. You must kill the old you. Nietzsche's words cut like a knife. Become who you are. At first, it sounds simple, but hidden in that command is something brutal. You must kill the old versions of yourself again and again. In your 20s, you're told to find yourself. But Nietzsche would say, there is no fixed self to find. You are not one identity, but a constant work of art. And the process of becoming requires destruction. The timid version of you must die. The insecure version of you must die. The obedient version of you must die. Each death clears space for someone new to emerge. This is not comfortable. It feels like betrayal. To your past, to your family's expectations, to the identity you clung to for safety. But Nietzsche insists, clinging to outdated selves is the fastest way to stagnation. What kept you alive at 18 will suffocate you at 25. What defined you at 25 will trap you at 30. To keep growing, you must burn your old skin. Think about the phoenix. It doesn't evolve gradually. It bursts into flames, reduced to ashes, only to rise again. That is Nietzsche's vision of you. The old you must be sacrificed for the stronger you to be born. The herd fears this. They cling desperately to their identities. This is who I am, they say, as if carved in stone. But Nietzsche saw identity as clay, something to be reshaped, remade, reforged through fire. The brutal truth? If you refuse to kill the old you, life will do it for you, through heartbreak, failure, loss. But if you embrace the death of old selves willingly, you transform those moments into fuel for becoming. Nietzsche's lesson: don't wait for life to destroy you. Destroy yourself, again and again, until only your strongest, truest form remains. Lesson 10. Life has no meaning until you create one. God is dead. Nietzsche didn't say this lightly. He meant the universe does not hand you purpose. Life has no pre-written meaning, no cosmic plan, no guaranteed path. The world does not owe you significance, and waiting for it to arrive is the slowest form of despair. In your 20s, this is terrifying. You feel small, lost, untethered. Society tells you to follow formulas, study, work, marry, retire, but those are not purpose. They are distractions. Nietzsche's brutal truth: no one will give your life meaning. You must forge it yourself. Meaning is not discovered, it is created. Every choice you make, every risk you take, every failure you endure, every value you claim, becomes a stroke in the painting of your life. If you leave it to chance, to society, or to fate, your existence will drift like debris on a river, carried by currents you never controlled. This is why Nietzsche's 20s lesson is so radical. Freedom is terrifying, because responsibility is absolute. You are both sculptor and clay. To live fully, you must dare to define your own purpose, even when the world misunderstands, mocks, or rejects it. Most people avoid this responsibility. They chase ready-made meaning, jobs, social validation, relationships that soothe the void. But Nietzsche warns these are illusions. Only when you confront emptiness, stare into it, and shape your own significance do you rise above the herd. The final paradox? Life is meaningless, and that is liberating. It means no limits, no dictates, no preconditions. You can become anything, create anything, and live with authenticity that the herd cannot comprehend. Your 20s are the perfect time to wield this power, to carve a life that is yours in every sense. The brutal truth: if you wait for life to hand you meaning, you will wait forever. But if you take it fiercely, courageously, relentlessly, you will become someone unforgettable. Nietzsche leaves you with one command: stop waiting, start creating. Now the choice is yours. Will you stay in the herd, drifting through life on autopilot, clinging to comfort, illusions, and borrowed beliefs? Or will you step into the fire, embrace suffering, destroy your old selves, and carve your own path? The lessons of Nietzsche are brutal, but they are also liberating. They demand courage, self-reflection, and relentless action. Your 20s are not a rehearsal. They are the forge where your future self is made. If you've felt the sting of these truths, don't let it fade into passive thought. Act. Question everything. Risk everything. Break yourself and remake yourself. The world will not wait for you, and neither should you. If this video challenged you, awaken something stronger by hitting like and subscribe, so you never miss the kind of knowledge that shakes you awake. Share it with someone who's ready to rise, because these lessons are only as powerful as the courage to apply them. Remember, greatness is rare, suffering is necessary, and life only has meaning when you create it. Will you create yours?